因为 Y 是对线很稳，个人能力很强，但是他在打团的时候很少站出来，所以我们要做的就是对线的时候尽量压制他吧。
How well do you reckon that went in laning phase, Clement?
Not very well. But they basically gave up the laning phase, the picks, Ezreal versus Varus. What do you really expect?
You're not looking to really shut them down if you're picking those picks.
Basically, Snow was fronting. He's playing the mental game right here.
I see. Fantastic. I also got told that I've been pronouncing Sing Tai wrong.
Yeah.
It's like Sing Tai, right?
It's Xing Tai.
Xing Tai.
Yeah, and basically means mental state.
Mental
so
state.
This guy
you said it was like
himself...
heart state, right? And like heart state is like a pulse, which is my name.
Which is the really interesting thing, because both in Western and Eastern culture, people actually thought that the emotions came from here, not from here, back in the Middle Ages forward. So
interesting.
In language, it's still heart status.
That's funny, because that's wrong.
Have you ever been in love?
Fair, yeah, I'm dead inside, so, you know, I wouldn't know personally, but no, that's fair. Talking about this matchup, though, yeah, I'm really wondering whether this is just going to be a sweep here for Vici, because it seems like LGD are just unable to close this composition. Maybe they're just trying to do something different like TOP were, you know, in their first game against FPS yesterday. But I would say that, you know, Yuki, it seems like he just picks Zoe in every situation regardless. So if your bottom lane wants to play some Varus, well, you can't. So, you know what I mean? So, like, what do LGD do now to actually come back into this series?
Well, I feel like they could set up for less risky plays, but they're looking for a lot of times is actually just trying to outcatch people while they're actually running a poke composition. That's essentially what their composition does. And we've never seen in that game where they actually pull a poke off. They actually still play the LGD style, regardless of the composition. And that's why I think they got themselves into so much trouble in terms of the side lanes. If you're playing a poke composition, you're basically always moving as 4. And just setting up in front of a tower, and they've never really done that. So I want to see that change. You have to play to your compositional strengths.
Yeah, that's an unlucky time for this this stat to come up.
Hey, but they're
lose game
well.
1, but reminder, folks, you know, they're actually doing well in their win rate. Yeah, they won
game 1. So they actually are doing very well in the past month. 4th highest win rate in the league. The only guys above them are Rogue Warriors, JD Gaming, and Invictus Gaming. So they're in that same club with them for the past month.
Yeah, for some reason in my mind, Clement, I was just like, Vici won game 1. Wait, no, that didn't happen.
No.
LGD won game 1.
You're a Vici fan at heart.
Yeah, well, I think in my head it's just like it wasn't meant to be, and then they won anyway. So yes, the composition worked in the end, but it probably shouldn't have done.
Yep, a win is a win is a win. Doesn't matter like how you get for it. And LGD right now, they are looking at a potential playoff run. They're only 1 game behind Suning Gaming, and we do have Suning versus LGD in next Tuesday's matches.
Make sure we get that one on camera.
So if you want to see the potential playoff decider, you can tune into the Chinese broadcast. Unfortunately, we're not going to be on that day.
No, we will not. Though I do feel you, PYL, because the pollen count is exceptionally high currently in Shanghai.
Oh, is that for allergies?
Yes. So I was absolutely destroyed yesterday. So if you saw me just screaming from the face on desk with Raz, that's because I was. And then today, it's a little bit better because it's raining in Shanghai, but it's still pretty bad. So definitely feel your PYL, and for every allergy sufferer out there, remain strong. And remain inside, because outside is currently not great for us, but there you go. What a fantastic Yuki-san, looks like a mustache.
Yeah, it does. It is the Hangzhou Arena, home court of LGD. They do have the best chairs and a full stadium, like you pointed out.
Yeah. Do they have the best chairs? I mean, I know that
massage chairs. They have better chairs than we're sitting on right now. We're sitting on stools.
Can we get some massage chairs?
I wouldn't mind casting.
Do you think that the casters in the LGD venue sit on massage chairs?
I don't think so. No. They probably have stools.
I'll text Chang Mao and see if that's the case. Oh, that's This appears to be a mouse.
Looks like they're trying to check the macro settings or something.
Looks like a Razer mouse actually, and Naga, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously, every pro player has their own preference towards peripherals.
A lot of our teams actually do have peripheral sponsors as well, and you can go to each arena and buy those customized keyboards and mouses.
Really?
I saw them at WE, their main sponsor, iRocks. Really puts out some good keyboards. You can get them in the red and black color at their arena in Xi'an.
Do you have the URL where I can go find them, Clement?
We can go to Xi'an together.
We can get. That's not a URL at all, but okay. Fantastic. You know, I think it would be hilarious if they only had, because in the chairs they spell LGD.
Yeah.
If only the LGD were the massage chairs, so you made people want to sit in those seats. So on like a day where not many people came in, you would just have people sitting in an LGD formation. You know what I mean? Marketing,
that's cool.
folks.
But
there you go. That's how you
kind
do
of
it.
waste of space, isn't it?
What do you mean?
I mean,
If you made the chairs, well, you didn't have to be bigger necessarily, right? You just make them only the functional ones in those places.
okay.
They also, fun fact, they the first time they installed them, they misspelled LGD. So
What did they
had
spell
to,
it as?
I think it was like GLD or something. So they had to take out the chairs and then put them back in again. Yep.
That would be very awkward. But these stadiums, they do take a long time to build.
They
That's why
really
we
do. Reminder,
often
folks, we
some,
have 6 stadiums here in the LPL.
Yeah, we do.
6 stadiums. In your other regions, you only have 1, maybe 2.
So we have Beijing, Hangzhou,
Xi'an.
Chengdu, Chongqing, Shanghai. That's 5.
Xi'an,
Oh yeah, you're right. That is 6.
that's 6.
I always forget about
5 plus
WE.
1 makes 6. Yeah.
Oh.
How could you even forget that when you just came back from Xi'an the other day? You were there.
Okay, the Xi'an for me, I'm gonna remedy this. Basically, Xi'an for me, I felt like the vibe is the best out of our outer stadiums.
Well,
Do you
A,
see that
it's
big
huge,
drum?
and B, there's a drum.
Yeah. So the place it's in, it's actually in a massive government-run national theater.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the acoustics are great.
Yeah.
They have a great big stadium, and they can have 1,000 people in the venue at the same
Yeah.
time. So the
Wow.
roars, the cheers are definitely deafening, and they had the big drum where they had this person like bam, 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 bam.
Yep.
That was actually a very bad impression of a drum, but
That's the sound that a drum makes. It's
thanks.
pretty accurate. Yeah, we're just,
It was really hype.
just for folks at home, I believe we're just looking at peripheral issue. We just saw right there that was a problem with a mouse, so you know, it's back to us for a second. So I don't mind talking about Xi'an. I'm actually really interested. I haven't been to Xi'an, so
And if you look at Beijing, they have a completely different feel. Like Xi'an, they have the wall behind it. It's an LED wall, and they can change it. And they have like cool bricks and stuff like it. It really feels like an
I've never seen
ancient
them
city.
change it though. I've only ever seen them use the battlements. in
Yeah,
Xi'an.
the battlements
Yeah.
are really cool. And then you go to Beijing, and it's a cage match. They have the wire fence between the two
Yep.
teams.
I've
and
seen a
it's-
lot of players walk into those actually.
Yeah.
I remember, because reminding folks that when people go to the away stadiums, obviously they play there every day. So if you put like an obstacle course in front of the players, then the enemy team might injure themselves before they go on stage. So that's for anyone else who is building your stadiums right now. Just think about how you want to maybe mess with the people coming into your stadium.
It's probably intentional.
Yeah, I think so. Because
Snake has
it's at
the best
just the
obstacle.
height where people will just hit their head on the railings as they come in. I watched it happen to like at least 3 people now. You know, as
For
they're walking
Beijing
onto the
Stadium,
stage.
right?
Yeah. But that's I believe 750
Now
capacity.
you say that,
Yeah.
there's actually no one over 6 feet on RNG. So that's probably an intentional. Like, the
Ah.
Shy would definitely get his head stuck.
That's true. That guy's a tall fella.
Wow.
I saw him the other
Such
day,
a
and I was like,
smart
holy
thing.
moly, he's very tall.
Good design choices, by the way.
It is, yeah. You know,
Home
always
court
design it around your team.
Yeah.
Measure the height of your players. You know a Japanese game show where it's like the walls come over and push them into liquid?
I know that one.
Yeah. You should make sure that the holes that people have to go through to get out on stage, you know, the walk-in tunnel is only the size of your players. So if you do go up against the Shy, he's going to get knocked into the goop.
It's always best when they, like, renovate the most unexpected places, like someone sitting on the toilet and suddenly, like, you send them through a long shaft or the elevator. Like, Japanese game shows are the best.
That actually sounds more like a Bond film, actually. But that would be hilarious, yeah. Because sometimes we do have players, you know, go for a bathroom break, but then when you actually just send them to an underground facility instead,
I think
that's
you
not
get
what they
one
were
chance
expecting.
to split.
What?
I think you get one chance to split for that.
For what?
For, like, a bathroom break.
Oh,
'Cause
right.
you can't do it every time. Like,
Well, what
have
happens if you
9
need to go,
players wait
Clement?
for you.
If you need to go, you need to go.
They
You
should
can't
do
just
what
tell
you
someone
have
you
in,
can't
like,
go.
Jurassic Park. They have a T-Rex waiting for you. It's like, "Arr."
It's probably harder to get a T-Rex than it is to get a toilet.
But from what I understand, if it's like a really dire and like medical situation, you can go, but people aren't going to be happy because they're going to have to listen to Clement and Pulse chat about non-league related
T-Rexes
issues.
Yeah, this is where Clement and Pulse go. So we do have an update for you. It is indeed, as we suspected, and you probably suspected at home too, a peripheral issue.
I'm
And
actually
I believe
surprised
it was
it's
that
coming
mouse,
from LGD side.
because it's their arena, and they should probably just have like 10 million mices behind them.
Yeah, I mean, they sell them.
That's not the plural of mouse, by the way, mices. It's mice.
And
Yeah, but,
there we can
that
see the
seems
two
to be the
Korean duos are talking to each other.
Hey, yeah, makes sense.
I believe before you get into ban pick, it's it's okay. You can.
Oh
talk.
yeah, no, it's free game.
Yep.
Yeah. I believe if the enemy team pauses for like a peripheral issue, you can talk as well.
Oh,
And
wow.
then in prolonged pauses, you can then just talk.
But you can't talk if you're the team that has a peripheral issue.
Or maybe not peripheral issues, but if there's like an in-game bug or something, or if you pause for some miscellaneous reason. But again, at the end of the day, it's a referee decision. It's
Okay.
not clean cut. Referees might be just like, shut up, or they might be like, hey, it's fine. 'Cause I know in like super prolonged pauses, they'll have to talk.
I understand that the referees are very concerned about technical pauses where someone just tries to, kick their computer, take it offline.
I mean, that used to be the old tech solution. I know that right now, Y4 is having some problem with his mouse, so I don't know if he can just kick it, and whether that will, make it better. Because back when they had the
when I was
antennae
talking about the
TV,
kick it,
you would just kind of like, kick the TV and it would work again.
is that in like amateur tournaments, people would try to get time to talk to their teammates, and they would kick their computer to take it offline and create a pause.
Oh.
So that was what I was talking about, that
Yeah.
maybe if you're the team that has a peripheral issue, then you can't talk, but the other team can.
Right,
they want to avoid
right.
technical pauses.
Yeah. Forced technical pauses
Yeah.
by you kicking your computer, yeah. Did you ever cast a lot of LANs back in your day? I remember that when I start stuff as an amateur caster, I used to be at a lot of different LAN events. Did you?
I started on a major region.
Damn. You never suffered the problems of the grassroots
Hey,
caster.
I've casted a couple of IEMs. I know what you're talking about.
That's not a grassroots tournament. I'm talking about the I Series, the bring your own computer dream hacks. That's what I'm talking about.
In terms of the pauses, they're pretty much on par.
That's true. Yeah, you're not wrong. Had some. I think some of the best moments have actually come out from those big pauses.
Yeah.
Sometimes at a live event, a pause happens.
What's your
You'll
longest
pizza.
pause?
Longest pause.
I did a 3-hour one. It was the IEM or Flash Wolves one.
Yeah.
I still remember that.
I think probably like 2 or 3 hours. Yeah, I think is generally it. Because at a certain point they just call it off. It's just, well, folks,
See you tomorrow.
It's 3 a.m., so we should probably just go home. All right, we've gotten into Champions League. We've made it. Thank you for sticking with us. If you have, and you've heard Paulson, Clement go insane. Vici on the blue side, LGD on the red. We're going to be banning away the Varus and the Yasuo. If you're Vici, on the opposite side, of course, taking away Tatalia and the Aatrox.
So Vici, very interesting, banning away the Camille themselves. You can see Jinu actually smiling at that band because Vici did first pick it and you had a flex for it, but they've just decided to forego it completely and going for the Tahm Kench instead. The big priority pick between these two supports.
Hey, we're talking about the Darius there, potential for Audi, but it's going to be taken away from him. And a first pick out the Tahm Kench to Xingtai. LGD over to them.
Oh, I love this Orianna flex early because
You haven't locked
Y4
it
is
in
the
yet.
one
Don't
that
get too excited.
they will. I'm banking on it.
Okay.
Y4 is the big Orianna player of the league, and it also counters Coco's rise. They can flex it to the mid lane as well, so this is a great answer.
Clement, this is why I always tell you, don't go all in on the hovers.
But it made sense!
It did
made
make
a lot of sense.
No, I agree with all of your reasoning, Clement. But being a play-by-play for 5 years has taught me never talk about something
right.
unless it's happened.
You're right.
Because now it will be a Zoe pickup, and currently hovering over support, which is locked in, which is Alistair. Here, I'll teach you something, Clement. What you do is you keep talking about something as if it might happen, but you don't commit to it until it actually gets locked in. So right there, it's like, there's a good chance it could be an Alistair pick, which has been locked in, because it was locked in while I was talking.
Yep.
That's how you're always right.
For Vici, they could go with the Rise again. It's not a bad matchup. We really haven't seen that many champions coming out from Coco, to be honest. He's played 5 Rise games and 2 games on other things. I think 1 Swain game, but the other one I don't really remember off the top of my head.
Yep, Swain got hit by the nerf bat. Still reckon he's okay, but yeah, it will definitely move people away from him. I want to say Jin Zhao gets locked in. Jin's going to get locked in here for Snow, and it will be yet another Rise. I don't dislike the fact he's going for Rise. I actually think that Coco's Rise is very good, but...
It solves a lot of Vici's issues. Like, one of their big problems was that they didn't have a split pusher. Fire Rain kind of filled that with Yasuo, and now Coco's coming back.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, it actually was 2 and 5, yeah. Unlucky. Yeah, so, of course, Yuki will be locking the Misfortune for his AD carry, Y4.
Okay. I really like the Misfortune pick. It's such a lane-dominant pick these days. Mainly, we do see the lethality build as well with the Varus. And I feel like you can actually punish the lane quite hard against someone like Jin. Like, Jin's not going to have a very easy time evading most of the Qs you throw at him.
Yeah, I know people go back and forth in this matchup. Some people say it's still like weighted towards Jin. I actually think it's, as you said, a good matchup for Misfortune because you know where exactly Jin wants to stand?
Yeah.
Behind his caster minions. You know what Misfortune does? Kill you when you're behind your caster minions with double up. So I think that it's actually a pretty good matchup, all in all. Cannon is going to be a ban here towards LGD. Nidalee, again, obviously a Swift-specific ban. And Ornn will be the ban there against Aldi as well, predicting he'll go towards perhaps a tank pick.
So we've seen Snow play the Jin, and it really doesn't fall off linking. That was the big surprise for me watching him play it. He actually topped over 1,000 AD just on that champion into the late game, had a very good laning phase against Uzi as well. So for Vici, they look like they're still setting up something close to the 1-3-1. They're going to have Coco on his side lane, and having a double dropship helps a lot as well.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, I like to call it the catfish bus. I'm a big Ghibli fan myself. Oh, that's a Jarvan! Hello Jarvan, what brings you here? We've got ourselves a Misfortune and a Jarvan. This seems like a bit of a combination to me, Clement.
It does seem like a wombo combo.
Yeah.
LGD are thinking about building the grave for Vici Gaming, and the Jarvan's pretty interesting because it still could be flexed towards the top side as well. We still have picks like Ragus and Sejuani up in the jungle.
Nah, gonna be locking there for Aldi. And Nah has really come back into the... That was a hover over Vi. I was talking about Vi yesterday, actually, because I forgot she existed, along with Ramus. I wonder if Sing Tai watches the English broadcast. I know that Doinby said he does sometimes. Shoutouts to Doinby.
Yeah, Doinby's the best.
Yeah. Enjoy all of his interviews. Ooh. Yeah, this will be fun. And it will be Nocturne. So last time we saw Amy, of course, bring that up against Swift. I think that game-winning play there was definitely from Amy on the Nocturne. So Swift will take this one over to himself.
It's a lot of dual lane control coming in from Vici. They can basically play between two lanes and have a lot of support between both of them with the triple globals and the range from Jin as well.
It will be Swain in the end, so as you said, being touched a little bit on 8-14, but again, I don't think it's going to dissuade everybody from just moving away from completely. But we will have the bottom lane, Misfortune and Alistair. Top lane, in that case, will probably be a Swain. Yeah, it'll be Swain into Gnar, and the mid lane will be Zoe into the Rise.
I really like the Swain into Gnar matchup. We've been seeing Zoom, of all people, having a very good matchup in that scenario. He's been playing a lot of the Grass of the Undying, Swain into the top lane. And early levels, Gnar doesn't have that much range. You can really tag him with the Never Move quite easily.
Yeah, I fully agree. I actually think that Zoom is quickly becoming what I like to call the match man because he's very good at matchups. I think that he's one of the strongest laning top laners that we have in the league. Definitely shown by the amount of times he just solo kills everybody. Yeah, no, definitely would look towards him if we're looking for matchup stuff. Also played Yorick once, so you know, of course I've got to be a backer of old Zoom in the top lane.
I can see you definitely being a fan of someone that likes to go on the weird picks of the LPL.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like that chair is having a bad day. Let's give that some TLC.
So I see LGD's composition as being somewhat of an artillery composition. They're very good at just sitting in front of your towers, punishing constantly with the Ras, and basically having that one-directional firepower coming out from Misfortune's ultimate as well. But for Vici, I really like what they've drafted. They have a more flexible comp in terms of map play. They can come at you from so many different directions. It's just a more diverse comp for me. They have a lot of good scaling with the Rise as well. It's just about, once again, I feel like they have to stay pretty close pre-6.
Yep.
That's going to be the big test for them. Nocturne, Gnar, they all have pretty bad matchups, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I actually think I felt like this in the first game as well, actually, where it's just like LGD are quite one-dimensional and Vici have more options, but then they fumbled it when you hit late game. So, possibility we could find ourselves a 2-0 here in Hangzhou. For now, though, and send it over to the grab. Hey, calm down. Yeah, I think obviously LGD's fan following has been bigger and bigger and bigger recently, especially because they're winning. Everyone likes teams who win. But LGD, their fans have definitely stuck with them through a tough couple of years, I've got to say. And yeah, if you, it's just a ward, mate. Calm down. I know Fresco was saying that they were only really good in one season, and that would be 2015. But it seems like for a lot of people, that's when their kind of career started. So everyone looks back on the glory days and then realizes that the glory days was like a week, and then it was like, wait, why why were we a fan of this?
Those are the teams that you want to be a fan of. You want to be there for the lows, and then you want to be there for the potential highs. So that's why there's so many fans on LGD. You don't want to miss out if they actually be a good team sometimes.
That's true, because then you can say you were there from the start.
Exactly.
Yeah, and everyone likes being a hipster. Let's take a look at the keystones. Jin moving towards the Hail of Blades, of course. It is the common build for him nowadays. That's going to be actually a nice bit of harass there from Y4 on his Misfortune pick. And he's just gone for the base skin once again. I see very few people actually choose to go for a different setup on the Gun Goddess Misfortune. The only person to do it so far, I believe, was SMLZ. He was using the Royal Guard or whatever, the one that shoots rockets.
Oh,
that's my
you're
favorite.
talking about the Chromas?
Well, you can change forms. This is Gun Goddess Misfortune.
Okay.
She's got
I've
4
actually-
forms.
I've actually never played with that skin that much, but
must have
I
played
didn't know the
against it,
skins are so
surely.
good these days.
Well, it's a legendary skin, isn't it? Jinnu just getting absolutely bodied there. That's not how the match was meant to go, but Aldi got the level 2 punish, so that'll happen. This ward has not spotted Amy. Wow, actually dips into the Pixel Brush and moves on to the grab right there.
So this could be a potential incoming gank into the bot lane for LGD.
Maybe, but PY got a good bit of harass. That was a clutch flourish coming in from Snow. Take a look at his keystones, going for a Taste of Blood, and he's also got for Gathering Storm on Sorcery. Amy, again, as you just mentioned, Clement is looking towards the bottom side. Now he's sneaking very quietly into the Tri-Brush. There's a flash coming out from PYL, but again, the save from Sing Tai. I don't know how you didn't see that one coming, LGD.
Great Devourer coming in right there. They're probably banking on trying to get the double knock-up.
Yeah,
that's why you
onto Tom Kench as well.
Yeah, that's why you go Alistar into Tom Kench most of the time, is you have the potential to stop the Devour by knocking him up as well. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. Tom Kench did stay out of range.
Wow, a day that we don't see Chrysalis. I think some top players have been moving away from that that pickup nowadays. But again, we're still going to see bone plating because that is like, you know, the mastery.
You have to bring it.
Yeah.
I still think bone plating is a bit too busted.
It's just really, really, really good.
It happens on every single trade as well. It's like 60 damage.
It's a lot. Like
Yeah.
60 damage is a lot. If you think about the fact like Cheap Shot has been nerfed and Taste of Blood has been like dropped a little bit ages and ages ago, and that was like the difference of 20 each,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
But bone plating is a difference of 60.
And you get it every 45 seconds. It's pretty much a must on top laners.
If you're taking Resolve, definitely. I think the other day I saw someone take Demolish for the first time in like 6 months, and I was like, holy moly.
Oh, I do it.
Oh, of course you do it, but I'm talking about competitive play. I mean,
Yeah,
it feels
when
so
you're
good.
pushing into the tower most of the time and you get those free shots,
Yeah.
Demolish is the way to go.
Exactly. If you send your opponent back on every wave, their tower's gone by like 5 minutes. It's nuts. Would highly recommend for tanks in the top lane. Swift is going to look towards Jinnu right here. It's going to be a nice combo there, but Aldi will probably keep moving forwards because he's about to transform into Mega Gnar. Swift is already here with the Unspeakable Horror, but Amy's actually here with the counter gang. Aldi jumps forwards. He's about to get angry, but Amy doesn't care.
He's trying to hit for the never move. Does
He
get
lands
it.
follow through, jumps behind the wall up, and Aldi's low. He'll flash away from this, but Swift is getting some free damage onto Amy. They'll both back away to the tower.
So overall, LGD definitely win out on that trade. They get the top laner very low. Audi has to base, but Jinnu can stay in lane for a while. is going to shove that wave in.
5-4. Bit of damage there with the love tap. But again, just controlling the wave here with PYL. What we're doing in terms of farm, yeah, once this wave resolves, Snow will be okay. He'll probably be in the clear, but he's still getting ahead on this pick with his misfortune.
Trying to get the stun down.
Gives him the cowbell, but now PYL, he's being gobbled up again. King Tai is low, but he's going to headbutt him back towards his misfortune. It's supportal combat in the bush right now, but he gives them the Tam Kench. That's going to be a kill over to LGD.
Great calculations on PYL. He knows Tam Kench inside and out, knows that the damage from Devour is not going to kill him yet, so willingly goes in for a journey. Knocks him back as well.
Fantastic stuff, and that's a 2 versus 2 kill down there. That's something that you don't see very often, especially when you're looking towards Y4 and PYL, but yeah, that was just him getting straight outplayed. First blood to LGD, and it went over to the Misfortune, didn't even go over to the Alistair. So this is absolutely huge, because that means goes back, picks up the Serrated Dirk, but also gets to pick up a health potion, some brown bags, and a longsword.
She's definitely going a long way onto that lethality build. This laning phase is going to get much more difficult, and we can see the Jarvan already setting up. Of course, Jarvan with the level 6 is one of the kryptonites of your bot lanes that don't have any mobility.
Yeah.
It's a very easy gank for Jarvan to pull off.
100%. Yuki shoots forwards, but he's looking towards the middle lane. Lands a knockup right there, and PYL, why are you ganking from the top side of mid? He'll get the kill. Yuki comes up big once again. Give him the thumbs up.
PYL with the double emote plays. This is just the difference between PYL recently in this last month before compared to what he was like before. Yeah. It's just the coordination between his teammates has been much, much better.
PYL 2.0. He is definitely a way different player than he used to be. And I like it. I like it a lot. And I think a lot of his plays have really been on this Alistair. And definitely prioritizes it when he can as well. So, big fan of it. His flanks are just on point every single time. Genu trading up in the top side. This is going to be a counter gank though coming in from Swift as he pushes forward, goes into the Ascension, but he's about to get brought back down to Earth. That's going to be a kill to Aldi.
Yep, he doesn't have the, hasn't hit 8 minutes yet when you want to go for those all-in plays. It's usually better to wait for a stopwatch. That way you can be sure that there's not going to be a counter gank coming in. Genu doesn't want to wait, goes in early, and pays with his life.
You know, I seem to remember a certain co-caster of mine saying that this matchup should be pretty good for Swain.
Yeah. It is. It is early levels pretty good for Swain. You outrange the Gnar heavily.
Yeah, I agree. But for some reason, he's behind 2 waves. And
well, if you die,
yeah.
That does tend to happen.
Yeah, he definitely wasn't winning on the 1v1 when I was watching him as well.
Yeah, that's fair. I felt like the early gank kind of threw his tempo out.
Messed him up, yeah.
Yeah, messed him up a little bit. Like, the early gank means that you don't have that period of time where you're actually stronger in the matchup, and later when Gnar gets his range up through his passive.
Yeah, I actually think a big part of it was
a bit harder.
Yeah, that, and also the fact that Amy was just not topside at all.
Yeah.
I don't think that Genu has ever seen the jungler in his life.
It's a really weird pick, the Jarvan right now, because the problem with it is you lose a lot of HP when you're just clearing.
Yep.
And that's a big no-no in today's meta. You look at the junglers that are currently playing, none of them really lose health on clear. Trundle, no. Xin Zhao, no. Kindred, no. So you're taking a lot of risk with the Jarvan. Like, things can go really bad for you early on.
But the level 6, you're not in position to constantly counter gank, you know, at the same time. If you know, Swift goes for a pre-6 play, or even a level 6 play, you jump in and you're like, uh-oh, I'm 20%, and then you just die as well, so. That's definitely unfortunate. Though this time, now he's full health. Wow, goes in with the instant Cataclysm. He's still by himself. PY will follow through, but opens up the curtain call. He's under fire. In fact, Amy is as well. This Alistair's going to have to block all of this, but he's still doing it somehow. Bullet time comes through. 2 kills to the Misfortune. I can't believe that went so well for LGD.
Great estimation on the range in the final moments for Y4. He actually tags the kill at the very edge. I thought that was going to go terribly.
100%. Coco now trapped in place. He's knocked up, and he is put down by PYL.
That was a surprise flash coming out from Yuki. He did pick up a flash from the kill earlier, and a very short distance flash. Kept. I really like what he did there. He basically kept the flash on his side of the wall so he could surprise with the Sleepy Trouble Bubble. Really smart on the mechanical play right there. And the first dive, like you were saying, I thought it was going to go horrible. Amy's half health at the first few seconds of the fight. You have Jin in a great position, but they're not able to clean up anything.
That was nuts. I mean, everything was on a nice edge in every single one of those plays. When you see 2 low health targets and a Jin opens up with his ultimate and they have to stay in it for the full duration, you're like, at least 3 people are gonna die here.
Yeah.
And somehow they juggled it. 2 shots in the Alistair, maybe even 3 shots, and then the last one went on the Misfortune, I believe, and she was like half health, and then she just tanked it, and it killed someone with the bullet time. And again, you were saying, caught it right on the edge of the bullet. It's just insane. I don't know how it worked out so well.
I was really surprised that they were able to drop aggro from the tower. Like, they managed to finish off the kill. I believe it was
just on the
Yuki
edge.
who hooked up the kill, so the tower didn't aggro onto anyone else then.
Yeah.
So it was pretty lucky on their side, to be honest.
Lucky or calculated?
Luck is a form of skill.
You're not wrong. Better players, they crit more. Better Zoe players, they get better items. And better LGDs, they somehow make a bot lane tower dive with 4 people work at all low health against the Jin.
This is really tough for the Rise currently, because he really can't have like Alistar come into his lane. He just needs to leave immediately.
Yeah, I mean, he's just sat as in a turret. I mean, Swift right now is just with Coco, and it's just like, alright, so you got any dinner plans? You know, you doing anything late tonight? I mean, you got nothing else to do. It's not like I can go to my top side because it's gone. I can't go to the bottom side of the map. There's only Krugs. And mid lane tower's been taken. So if you're Vici, there's not a whole lot you can do. And meanwhile in Aldi, I feel the plight of every top laner. You know, like, I'm doing well. I'm 1-0. I'm blasting this guy. I'm 27 CS up on him. But then the rest of the map is just getting demolished.
Hey, the rest of my team is 0-5.
Yeah. I know you can respect that as a man of culture, a man of top lane yourself, Clement. So
definitely can.
Yeah.
You can see a favorable trade for LGD coming in. They were going to get the Herald plus the tower. So that's why they're willing to shake on this.
Oh yeah, they'll be fine with this. I mean, Vici have a kill and a tower. LGD have 2 towers and a Herald.
It's a very common play we see.
And they get top lane.
Yeah.
That's a 3-for-1 special.
Is it a 3-for-1? I thought it was a 2-for-1. Herald in top lane.
But they also got mid lane tower as well, off the same play.
Oh, that was before. They got
That
it earlier.
counts. That definitely counts. That's like the coupon, you know?
So here's the big point. This is where LGD messed up last time. They tried to split up and play like a more skirmishing type of style, but they do have a very good tower forcing potential. Jarvan with the Damashian standard is always underrated in sieging potential. It just gives so much attack speed to your entire team. Can they now actually try to look for a setup and try to siege one of those inner towers?
Yeah, that's a big question. And LGD, I wonder if they have the coordination, because I think where a lot of their good wins and plays have come out recently is when they have click your R buttons and not get caught in the river. This is a classic PYL, but this time he's level and he's Alistar.
That's pretty much
So
PYL's graveyard. He's died there so many times.
That and also bot lane Tribush. I think
those two are definitely the most common.
Yeah.
Like, if someone does an archaeological dig, you're probably going to find, like, PYL's bones or something.
Yes, yeah, you know, a skull or, like, you know, a tibia.
Yeah. It's like, you carbon date it. Ah, this is when LGD played that game.
Ah, yeah, this is from last week against RNG. Yeah. Wait, this is a relatively
All right,
new
so
one.
this is good play from LGD. The
They could
4-man
carry on
stack,
pushing with this, actually.
good siege, playing to their composition strengths.
Go for another one.
Not splitting up.
I think they could probably gone for another one. I'd be opening themselves up to a potential fight, but I'm like, wow, if you've got... they're looking towards bottom lane. But I'm just like, if you have Amy and you have Y4, then potential. But this rotation, as you said, really nice from LGD right here.
The timing was spot on as well. They pushed the second wave in just as the bottom wave was hitting, so they get a lot of free damage on this tower.
Check Amy.
And that's the poke coming up for the team.
It's the poke, and he's just waiting for the opportunity to land that clutch cataclysm. But ultimately, if this tower goes down for nothing, because they're going to wait for another wave, they could either force a break it open with the battering ram that is the Jarvan, or they can just knock down the tower, maybe look for a fight after that one as well. But currently, LGD have the entire rift. The rift is their oyster, if you will.
And PYL does have his real flash, so there's a lot of engaged potential.
PYL going for the initiate, looking for the cataclysm. Here it is, and the bullet time comes through, but they're not put in the oven. It's fine though, because it took the tower, and that's really what they were looking for. That being said, Cole comes through, 2 shots onto Jinnu, 1 onto Amy. 3 onto Jinu, he's going to be okay.
I would say that would be a 6 out of 10 for me. Like, they did get the job done, but
Yeah.
it was in a very risky manner where a lot of things could have gone wrong.
Yeah, I agree. But they still got it. And I believe, as a Clement once said, a win is a win is a win.
Definitely is. And LGD, this one is different from the last one. They're actually playing to the way their composition should work. It's about sieging, and the way they set up that side lane. Oh, that was so good. You have the entire team coming in at the same time the bottom wave hits the tower. Like, that takes a lot of coordination, and that's kind of the hardest thing to do for professional teams, is just lining up the waves at the same time.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's something that I've seen like ADG and RNG and IG botch on multiple occasions.
They botch it all the time. I mean, a lot of pro teams actually botch it all the time. You know, Talia wall too early, no minion wave.
Yep. Slightly
Scout,
off on the timings.
Realm warping in a minion wave.
Because really, you know, League of Legends and a lot of games at high levels is PYL. We don't even need to carbon date that one. It's still on the ground.
Yep,
you know?
that's still fresh steak right there.
Yeah, this is all there.
We're actually not kidding. That is the brush
That's
that
the place.
He dies
That is the
most.
place. Yeah.
We have seen him die countless times in that exact position.
Yeah, exactly. So he's just adding to the fossils currently there. But you know, a lot of games and video games at the highest level are a game of nanoseconds. We're going to call this one the Amy Brush. Oh, he didn't die there, so not quite. Doesn't count. Top tower will fall here to Vici. I like the counter punch that's coming in from them. You know, just being sieged not a couple moments ago at their inner tower, and now they're actually taking a tower back themselves. So bring the gold totals a bit back to even, though it's still a 3,000 gold advantage to LGD. And that's going to be the first item wit's end actually from LD here. CZ's into a Swain, and probably going to be in that for quite some time.
The Gnar build changes have been really interesting to hear from the pro players. There's recently been an interview with PK, who was the MVP of the LMS, top lane player himself, and he said that people are really shying away from going into the tank Gnar build because teams are so good at engaging on you when you don't have rage. And you just realize, wait a minute, I'm not doing anything with the tank build.
Yeah.
So we're seeing more emphasis onto the mini Gnar form rather than the big Gnar form. And it didn't come through nerfs or changes.
Yeah.
It actually just came through teams getting better.
That's fascinating, because I think simultaneously the Gnar has been coming more back into the meta, you know? People are moving away from the Darius and being like, Gnar's an option, and they lock in Gnar, but then you realize they didn't have a tank, whereas like with Darius, yes, we're seeing a lot of Triforge builds, but you get tanky very early on into your build compared to the Gnar, right? It's fine, it's all good. He doesn't get hit by the bubble. Though if he did, he was dead. But you know, you'll get tanky at 2 or 3 items, whereas Addy will not get tanky until ever.
Get some resistances, but can he get away? Actually forces a teleport out.
Goodbye.
That's still good time wasting. For Vici's composition, all they're really waiting for is
CSI Yuki on the case. I have determined that he's teleported away from the play.
they're waiting for Coco to get big, and that I'm sorry, that scene just brought nightmares back into my mind when Zoe could still pick up teleport from the ground. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I know. That wasn't too long ago, actually.
There was a time where even if you made the correct macro play, you would still get 4v2'd because Zoe would pick up a random teleport.
Yeah. You know, I still have nightmares over the days in which... meanwhile in the mid lane, that's going to be Swift diving right on towards the Misfortune, and PY is so far away, but he turns around and actually does so much damage back towards him. Swift will get the shutdown gold. But the cow's angry. The cow's real angry.
How did he actually know that there was nobody around that point?
I don't think he did, but he just went for it anyways. And I respect that.
I respect it, but at the same time, that does worry me. That's not a good tendency to have, but...
I mean, that was a suicidal play if I've ever seen one.
It does drag the game out, and
it does,
maybe that's all Vici's looking for.
Again, they have more options than LGD. We said this before, Clement, but I'll say it again. If we hit late game, we could have a very similar situation to that first game. Yeah. Not as clean cut as the first game, because this time there was actually some, you know, team fight and late game insurance from LGD as a unit. But Vici still have, you know, lots of different ways they can play. They have the 1-3-1, exactly. So, I think the later this game goes, they could actually pull it back. And to be honest, if you put Vici and LGD, they're probably saying, we're quite happy to put ourselves in that situation again, because this time we just won't screw it up, you know? Because that's a situation where a lot of teams could just win.
Exactly. I feel like Vici are learning on the fly. They don't have a lot of chances to actually play past the 30-minute mark and actually win a game. So
Yep.
not a lot of good experiences to learn from. But I want to see how LGD rebounds, because they did show us such a good play earlier on with the double tower take. And I just want to see them get back on track, take control of one of the jungle, don't split up, don't let the mobility from Vici be an issue. Yeah. I never understood why you have to split up to solve the case.
I don't either. Always stick together. To be fair, no one ever died in Scooby-Doo, so maybe they got it right. Mid tower is going to be broken open right here. Amy with the follow through into the Cataclysm. Nice save there by Sing Tai, but in the end, the mid tower is already dead. This is probably going to be an inhib on top of that.
If there is no... oh, Paranoia is up, but Vici really needs to look for a flank if they want to continue in this. And they're just going to be content with splitting down the towers, reasoning with themselves that they can't defend anyway.
Yeah, Aldi in the bot side is going to get himself an inner tower. He'll continue pushing, so they're going to have to send at least one person back.
I'm not sure if that really was the case, that Audi couldn't help the defense of the mid lane inhibitor.
Probably not. Curtain call. 0 for 2. Yeah,
just forcing people away from the mid lane tower.
That was going to be my.
They couldn't take it.
That was going to be my question there, Clement. Is well, night night. I thought he was meant to be the nightmare, but apparently it's Zoe. Yeah, no. How were LGD able? Like it felt like we were just in a bit of a stalemate. You know, we were going back and forth. We were playing checkers, and the LGD were like, you know what? I feel like just going mid lane and taking the inhib. And they just did it.
I honestly felt like Vici didn't read the play correctly, and they didn't react in time. They're just like, wait a minute, LGD, all of them are here? Because they only showed Swain at the first part of the play, and then they 5-man stacked.
Yep.
So, for me, Vici definitely could have mounted some sort of a defense if they had the Gnar in place, if they had just like their front line, basically, tanking for them.
Wow, that was a flash play from PYL. You're not a Nocturne at all, but he's got the rest of the team following through, waiting for that bullet time. Where is it? Sing Tai taking a lot of damage. He gets knocked down by the Jarvan. Forces another flash with that Cataclysm, but he is unbelievably rooted. Flash over the wall, that's going to be the bullet time coming through. Just a bit of a love tap on the backside of that as Yuki portal jumps away. 3 kills to LGD.
I've never seen a more aggressive TP. Just goes through the towers and tries to finish up.
Jinnu, he is just ascending all over them right now, but he is locked underneath this tower. He goes golden, and Aldi dances.
Yeah, that was kind of a questionable play.
Yeah, that's a questionable thing right there. But the rest of the team will be able to take down the inner tower. Yuki and Y4 are low. This will just be this wave pushed in following that. But respect to PYL. He knew that he could go for that engage and keep them locked up while the team could collapse.
Oh, that's always the danger of playing against LPL teams. You never know how many people are actually behind the play when someone is so aggressive in their first initial engage. And to be fair to LGD, he had the right calculations. They had more people around this area. They were willing to fall in, and if you look at the Gnar on the map, he took a really long time to actually get into the fight.
Yes, he did. And LGD, they were just decisive on the play once again. The first time they just rammed it down the mid lane. Vici couldn't defend. Once again, Aldi out of position. Oh, catch of the day, it's a catfish. Wonderful, we'll take one of those. Delicious. Turns into a nice casserole.
I respect what Sing Tai is trying to do. He's trying to go on a warding mission. There's no one on his side.
Yep. Unfortunate.
Should be a Baron.
In Top River, no one can hear you scream. Like space. Paddle Star onto Baron right here. Yeah. LGD are going to start this one up, and Snow is farming Raptors. So it's going to be on Swift right here if he can find himself a steal.
Coco trying to dissuade the team.
Oh, that's going to be a double knock-up into the bullet time as well, forcing multiple flashes. PYL under attack right now. He's about to be out of his unbreakable will.
LGD definitely overcommitted to the play. I feel like the correct response was actually just to take Baron.
Yeah.
Vici were not in position to contest anyway.
They're going to continue, and they have many ultimates down now, Clement.
Yeah, this is a very good chance for Vici to actually swing the matchup.
It's a very, very good chance, but LGD, they're still looking for a fight. Just take the Baron. Okay,
that's
goodbye.
One play where I have to say PYL probably went over-aggressive because he couldn't get out of that situation without his teammates helping him. I actually felt like they probably should have just turned and finished the Baron.
Yeah, or just let the Alice die and take the Baron as well. But
that's not an option on LGD.
No, if someone goes in, you gotta say private whoever the heck is.
Private PYL. Amy, they can let him die. We've seen that a lot.
That's true, yeah.
But
They
PYL,
don't
he's
really
the
care
heart of the
too much
team.
about Amy. But, which is weird, right? Because PYL is the more suicidal
He's a
one.
shot caller,
But he is
so it
the
happens
shot
a lot.
caller, right?
Yeah.
He's like, come and defend me, minions. Get over here.
I always feel like that's a wrong mentality because shot callers actually shot call better when they're dead.
Yeah.
They don't have to play mechanics.
They don't even need to play the game. They just need to shot call. You know, wouldn't League of Legends be interesting if you had 6 people, 6v6, but the 6th person didn't have a champion, and they were the shot caller?
I'm not sure about that. I'm really not sure about that.
It would be interesting.
If we could listen into the comms, then
Yeah.
I would full-heartedly agree with it. But since we can't, then I'd rather that not.
Or
be a
they can
feature.
only communicate with like some set messages.
with emotes.
Or emotes, because you know how in like a, an MMO that has like chat restriction, and you can only type certain things. That's what they can only do as well. So they can be like, oh, they can only say "Go Baron," but they can't say "Go Dragon," right?
Are you Coach BSYY?
Yes, I am.
Sounds like you are.
No, BSYY's evolved, man. Like that was old BSYY. Don't meme him. Though that was very
He's a
true
great
of Doug
coach. He's a
Gaming,
great
yeah.
coach. But that was his first big strategy.
It definitely was.
LGD now onto the Baron again. I'm not sure who's
Blue
in the
Trinket.
bottom lane right now. Is that
They're
Nart?
fairly wounded,
Yeah.
and they have pretty low health bars and mana bars. And Vici, they're still not going to be able to steal, but now they look to turn around. And I think that LGD, they're still ripe for getting team fought here. And Vici, yeah, they're now going for it. Dives into the backline. Swift, he knows he's pretty tanky right now. And PYL, he might be the sacrificial cow. Jinu gets locked up by this one, but will continue walking away. The
turning
bullet
it.
time is good, but White Form jumps into the backline. That's a massive double up coming through. Swift's going to fall on top of this, but Amy, he's back from base, and they are turning it. Snow running away for his dear life.
That was a 3v5 at the start of the fight. Vici managed to hang on to no one, and hero play from Y4.
Y4 is an absolute monster. Now you can give this guy the MVP. 5
just
for
start locking it,
0.
locking it.
LGD take the Baron, and they look for the win.
It was such a smart play coming in from Vici. They knew that part of the LGD squad was already back in base, so they got the 3v5 at the start. But walking through that tri-brush, they had to walk through bullet time coming out from Y4.
Yeah, bullet time onto 2, but for me it was the flash forwards into the double up that found one and almost killed a second. LGD flashing onto the spawn pad. PYL don't care. Oh, he stays alive. LGD with the 2-0 on the day in Hangzhou.
So LGD still a bit of missteps in the midsection of the game, but they finish it out so strong. Just the individual talents from LGD actually winning over the day. Like, that was not supposed to be an LGD winnable play.
No, it was not. There were many things that shouldn't have gone well for LGD, but did in the end. I think about the bot lane, I think about the whole series. But in the day, they take a bow, and they find another win, and continue their good record.
They're only half a series away from Suning Gaming right now. If Suning Gaming fall to JD Gaming, then they would be tied. And on Tuesday, if LGD leapfrog them, we could have a new playoff contender.
We really could. And who would have thunk it? Who would have thought that it was going to be LGD who would be the team who would be making a late split run?
All right, I've lost my faith in LGD multiple times throughout the split, but I will say I've always stood by that. I feel like they have good enough talent to actually be a 4th place playoff. Probably not top 2, but
would you like
third,
to
4th.
join Team Raz? We're calling it Team Rice, actually. That's our power couple name, me and Raz. Team Rice. But we say that LGD will make playoffs. Frostgearin thinks no. And we have a wig bet on it. Would you like to join the team? Because then would force Frostgearin to wear 3 simultaneous wigs at the same time.
And if I have to wear a wig, I have 2 buddies with me.
That's correct. Yes.
I'm in.
All right,
Put
there
it
you
in,
go.
put
We
it
have
in.
another person
LGD over
signing
Suning
up
Gaming. Come on, let's
on
go.
to Team Rice. There you go, wonderful. 27 minutes here for LGD. And Y4, again, I think we give him the MVP, certainly for Game 2.
That was such a
because-
sudden end of the game.
Yeah,
Like,
it
I
really
wasn't
was.
expecting that.
It
It
was
was
like,
really clean.
All right, we're playing some League of... And the game's over. Okay, all right, wonderful. And that's a 2-0 on the day. But, you know, I'm just glad that you've joined... you've seen the light. You've joined the right team. And Frostgearin's by
I've
itself.
been burned before. I know those coffees, where that coffee bet came
That's
from.
true.
It was on LGD as well, but I do like their chances going to playoffs because
Yeah,
they're
me
coming
too.
off such a high. If you look at their
Now's the
recent
time to do it.
performance, it's 6 wins in 2 losses. They started out 0-6, so you can actually see the pieces starting to click together on this team. And through that series, they played so much cleaner on game 2 as well. So they definitely understand the direction. My only worry for them is they still do lag very heavily in the diversity department, especially on
Who
Yuki's
cares
point.
about diversity? As long as they can do one thing moderately well, that will get you the 4th spot. I want to see what Y4 was doing, because this wasn't just moderately good.
I
This
like how
was
your standards
very,
are pretty
very
low for the
good.
teams.
So as we take a look at this final team fight, Y4, just pay attention to his misfortune.
So it was a good engage on Vici. I really like the idea. They do catch a 3v5 scenario. Coco's coming in as well, and Y4 does not leave his team out to dry. He does massive damage to 3 people with the bullet time, and then flashes over the wall to finish the kill.
Yep.
Look, there's 2 people trying to chase him, and he forces them to burn their flashes as well. So that one flash was extremely valuable. He broke the ankles off of Coco and Xingtai at the same time, and then found the kill. So that was a 1-for-3 play, basically.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, Y4, he's good. He's real good. And we've been saying this for a while, right? We said this at the very start of the set. It's like Y4, you know, you've got to praise this guy. Because since moving on to LGD at the very start, I think he was the shining light on the team, you know? If you're looking towards a single player to be like, this is the guy, then he's definitely the guy. You know, you look towards mid lane, yes, Yuki's definitely had an upward swing, but I think Y4 has been just constantly good.
He's the main reason that LGD can now take team fights, because that was the biggest problem with LGD in the spring split.
Yeah.
Sure, they could skirmish, but they had no say whatsoever in the 5v5. They were very bottom of the pile type of 5v5 team, but this split with Y4, he's a very steady type of player. So I think they've been really shining above their caliber in a lot of senses, and he's also a trendsetter.
He is,
Like the Orianna, the Victor in the bot lane, all star from Y4.
And you'll be happy to know, folks, that he is our MVP.
Nice.
He is our man of the match. 2 in a row. 2 in a row.
38% of his team's damage,
140% damage
blowing
to
up the bot lane, and I've never seen such a stern look on a rocker.
Yeah. Well, that's the Chinese symbol for 4, right? Is it?
I'm actually not sure. I'm not very good with hand signals,
I'm
and I
pretty
try to avoid throwing up hand signals when I don't know what they mean.
Wait, but you do that all the time.
I know what those mean.
Oh, right, okay. But when it comes to numbers, because I'm pretty sure, like, this is 6, right? And then I'm pretty sure what he just did there was 4.
You're making me angsty.
You're meant to be the expert on this.
They have different hand signals than they do in Taipei. Like, the numbers are actually different.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's interesting. What's 4 in Taipei, then? Alright, wonderful. But again, definitely deserving of those 2 MVPs, Y4. You know, I think that he's just been a great member for the team. And you can see right there, he's just not only stable, but he's able to make the big plays. I think that's really what separates just like a consistent, stable player from just a really, really good one. And that's
Snow
what
was
he
saying that he doesn't stand out. Well, he definitely stood up right there. And he buried the team.
He 100% did. So, before we go on to our next series of the day, you may be waiting for that one. That's going to be casted by myself and Raz. We're going to be waiting 55 minutes. So once again, yesterday, you know, we had a bit of a break because honestly, that game just ended really quickly. So go away if you're in China right now. It's a little bit late. My watch is on this hand. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you get dinner. I know, have a snack, get some tea. Maybe you're in the UK. Do you like tea, Clement?
I think that takes a little bit more than 55 minutes to do.
What
To go
drink
away,
tea?
get dinner, have a snack.
Really? Does it take that long to eat dinner for you? My God.
Well, dinner is a big
Well,
event.
if it takes
it's a
that long
ritual.
for you, then at least get some food so you can have food for the next match. For now, though, we're going to take a short break. When we get back, we'll be here with our second series of the day.
相信这支年轻气盛的京东，相信过程。